Hey, 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 y'all. I hope y'all are having a nice day. Peace, light, and love. Ashe, all of that jazz. So, ooh, the third time I've given this message. So, I'm a little tired. But Spirit keeps bringing it up. Ooh. So, okay. So, I'm just going to jump into it. So, the energy for this month that I just kind of wanted to talk about a little bit. This is a reading. This is a general reading. Okay, general reading. Um, this is a general message, general reading. For last week and for the energy going into this week. And really the overall energy for this month. So, excuse me. The energy that I've gotten for this. Oh my gosh, these mosquitoes. The energy that I've gotten for this month, this week, and just right now. I don't know, for those of you where this resonates, it'll resonate, and for those of you where it doesn't resonate, it won't resonate. But I hope that you get what I'm trying to say. There's a story in the Bible about Lot. I think it's Lot. Is it Lot? Hold on, let me look it up, because I don't remember. Pillow of Salt. Lot's wife. Yeah, it's Lot. It's Lot. Hold on. Okay, so yes. So there's a story in the Bible about Lot, okay, and Lot's wife, and how they were leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, and Lot's wife and Lot's wife, they were instructed not to look back at the fire, and everything that was going on behind them, because if they looked back, they were going to turn into pillars of salt. And Lot's wife decided to look back. Shaking my head. She decided to look back. So she looked back and she turned to a pillar of salt. And so basically, with that story, the energy that I'm getting for us in our time right now and what we're going through is that we are being guided to leave situations that do not serve us, okay? And we're being guided to leave right now. Like, God is like, leave, okay? This is no longer serving your purpose. You got all this fire, brimstone, all this corruption and things that is going on, that is just messing with your energy. You don't need to be here. I'm trying to remove you out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like God is pushing us through this chaos to move. Okay. And so, and that can apply to any area of your life. Okay. Any area, your relationships, situations, places, business, jobs, anything. Anything. It can apply to anything. And so that's what I'm getting for that. Now, the second thing that I've gotten with this message is that, the first thing about moving and transitioning and walking into your path, because ultimately that's what this is about, is, walking into your path. Like, being at Sodom and Gomorrah and being around all those people that they were around. And if you're interested, you can go and read the story. Okay. Go read the story of Lot and of Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah was just fucking, think of a trash bag. Like, think of think of old rotting trash that you need to take out, but you don't take out, and it stinks up your house. That was Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Sodom and Gomorrah was just filth, basically. And so it's like, that's the energy. Like, you got this stale energy, these old situations, these old things that you been should have took out, you been should have got rid of, that's still sticking around, things that, and morals and just bad habits, just all different types of things that you're still holding on to or you're still living in that no longer serves you. So in order for you to get walking and you're trying to walk into your purpose. And so in order for you to walk into your purpose, you have to walk away from all this shit. And so it's like sometimes this reminds me of the Tower card. Sometimes it's like God has to place you in a situation where you're literally being forced to leave. Like you got to go. Because otherwise you're going to still be in this place. And it's kind of like you need that push. And so that's what I'm getting. And so but it's like even when spirit, universe, whatever you believe in, even when they give you that push to make that move and give you that guidance to, hey, don't look back. Once you leave, don't look back at this pillar of salt. Here's what I want you to do. After even giving you that guidance, it's like you still have a choice of whether or not you're going to listen to that guidance or not. So it's like that's what the story of Sodom and Gomorrah was about with Lot and Lot's wife. Is that, both Lot and Lot's wife and Lot's family, they had the choice to listen to God, okay? And not only listen to God, but then listen to, to just trust. They had a decision to make. And, Lot decided to make a decision that was going to serve his highest good. And Lot's wife, she didn't decide to do that. She decided to be hard-headed. And she ended up turning into a pillar of salt. And so that's kind of like what I'm getting from spirit is like, what are you going to do? Are you going to listen to me and move the fuck on? Or are you going to turn into a pillar of salt and be salt for the rest of your life and be salty? Which one? Like, so that's what I'm getting for the energy. And so with, you moving on, you releasing these things that no longer serve you, it's important for you to replace, what you've released with new things that will serve you. Okay. And this does not apply only to your relationships and your situations, but it also applies to your health. That was a topic that came up. Okay. Is your health. And even now, as I'm thinking about it, like being in those situations, being back in Sodom and Gomorrah and around all of that chaos, like not only was it not good for their spiritual and mental well-being, but it wasn't good for their physical health. Because why the fuck you gonna be in Sodom and Gomorrah with all this fire, all these diseases and stuff that they probably had, and all this like all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you gonna be around all of that and take in all of that stuff? Because mentally and spiritually, things manifest themselves physically also, is what I'm getting as well. So it's like if you stay with God, is what I'm getting as spirit was, kind of saying is that if you stay here, you're gonna turn into a pillar of salt. So that means you're gonna become what you're around. Like you're gonna turn into salt. Like you will take in all that and it's gonna affect you. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna affect your body. Like imagine a pillar of salt. Like just think about that. Like she turned into a fucking pillar of salt. Like that's just like who wants to be a fucking pillar of salt? Like, and then how does it feel? I'll be wondering, like, how did that feel? You know what I'm saying? How does it feel being a pillar of salt? That's what I'm getting. So it's like, not only do you need to leave these situations because it's being detrimental to your mental and spiritual well-being, but it's being detrimental to your physical well-being. Like when you soak in that energy that don't serve you, like it can show up in your body. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you need to be mindful of that as well and move, because not only when God is telling you to move for one reason, it's also for other reasons too. And you may not see it in that moment, but it's like just listen and take things one thing at a time, one day at a time, and trust, and you'll be able to see what God sees. Because a lot of times when we're in situations and we have that fire and brimstone and all this chaos going around us, it's hard for us to see things how God sees it. but in the end it's to serve our highest good. And so that's what I'm getting, is that, once you leave this situation that's not serving you, it's going to better your well-being overall. And then once you get to where you're going, and just throughout this whole entire process, it's important for you to be discerning, okay? And continuing to listen, continuing to discern, and continuing to replenish your energy and replenish yourself, because that's important. That's very important. So you're going through a huge transition. A huge transition. Community was something that came up. So community. So throughout this process, communicating. Maybe Lot and his wife didn't have good communication skills. That's possible. I haven't read the story in a while, so I have to go back and read it. But this is just what I'm getting and what I'm feeling. Like maybe Lot and his wife didn't have the best communication skills, and maybe that's why she turned into a pillar of salt. So maybe that's something that's important too to your path. It's like we're trying to help ourselves so we can help others. We're trying to listen to spirit so that we can listen to her and listen to others. But it's like if the communication, and if we don't get back to community and realizing how important the next person is to, and how important we are and the next person is, and how just that communion is for the whole process, we're gonna lose the purpose. Ooh. If we don't remember how important the next person is, and we are to the betterment of each other, we're gonna forget the purpose. So it's like that's what's been coming up also, is that getting back into communication and bettering our communication skills as we are transitioning and moving. So, and that goes back to what I was talking about too, about replenishing and reactivating and we're just resetting and revitalizing, your energy. Is that when it comes to, like, I was just talking about health and how, you need to go ahead and replenish your energy in regards to, getting back into doing things that are healthy for you after you've released the things that aren't healthy for you. That applies to relationships as well. It's like once you get rid of the people that no longer serve you, you need to commune with people that will serve you. Find your tribe. You know what I'm saying? Find people, go where the love is. You know what I'm saying? Go where there's reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's important to this transitioning, especially when, it's a big transition as it is. It's like we're not meant to live this path by ourselves. We're not. And so that's what I'm getting for that. Now, the next thing, I was just talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. And now I'm going to touch a little bit on Moses, because it's kind of like the same story. Moses and the Exodus. It's like when Moses was being led to lead the people out of Egypt and to go on this huge Exodus, that was the same thing. It was like they were removing themselves from a situation that no longer served them. And not only that no longer served them, but was causing destruction, honestly. With both, the Moses story and with the Lot story, it was destruction. It wasn't good on any way, shape, or form. So it's like with the Moses situation, it's the same, it's the same energy, same message. It's like, leave. You're in captivity. Let yourself go. Okay. Listen to yourself, listen to spirit, and listen to others. That's what Moses had to do. Moses had to listen to himself. And he was like, something ain't right. Then he looked around him and he looked around at the people around him, the slaves, you know what I'm saying? For those of you that know or may not know the story. He looked around and he was like, this don't look good. I don't feel good. This doesn't look good. And then spirit, he listened to spirit, and God came to him and spoke to him and provided the confirmation in the same message that this is not a good situation. And so then that was when, everything started coming into alignment, and in regards to, him having to move and get all them people out of Egypt because it wasn't serving them anymore. And so that's what I'm getting, is like this transition that we're going through, it's not just a move. It's not just like, it's not just like I'm going in the military and I'm moving to another country. I'm moving. No, you're moving. Like you're like this, like you moving to another planet, bitch. Like no, but this is huge. Like this is a big deal. This is an exodus. This is an exodus. Like when I think of an exodus, like I think of it's a fucking big deal. So like that's what I'm getting with this energy is that you don't have time to be wasting not listening. Oof. I need to take notes on this myself. So, but you don't have time to be wasting not listening to yourself, not listening to spirit, not listening to others. You know what I'm saying? Not walking in. You don't have time for that because it's like if you stay here where you're at, you're going to be stuck and it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So it's like purpose or pain. Which one? Which one you want? You know? So that's what I'm getting for that energy. And so a couple keywords that kept coming up throughout both of these stories and analogies and messages is discernment and listening. So listening and being discerning, okay? Being discerning and listening is what came up. Being discerning and listening. It's like when you listen, you are able to discern better. And then when you're able to discern, you're able to know and trust what you are feeling and what spirit is telling you and what you see around you. You're able to trust all of that because you're taking the time to be more observant and you're listening. That is something that I struggle with that I have been working on recently. And I'm telling you, once I shut the hell up, spirit be sending me so much shit and I be seeing so much shit and it's helpful. And that is important and imperative for this path. And not only for you, but for other people too. Because going back to that community and this whole Exodus thing, it's like at the end of the day, this isn't even just about you. This is about the whole purpose, okay? This is about the whole purpose. And it's like you're leading by example. It's like you're being Moses, kind of. You honestly, yeah, you're being Moses with Lot and with the Moses story. It's like they were called to be leaders. You know what I'm saying? And it's by them walking in their purpose and being leaders and following that divine guidance that they've been receiving. It's like that sets the stage for other people. And so like that's what I'm getting. It's like now is your time because now is our time. You know what I'm saying? It's your time and it's our time, the collective time. Because at the end of the day, we got to put this pride aside. We got to stop being selfish. It's not just about us. This path is it's not just about you. This is your path, but like it's about the collective also ultimately. And so that's a message that I got as well. Now, this message right here is specifically for empaths, okay? So I was just talking about leaving situations that don't serve you. I was giving the Bible references. I was talking about discernment and listening for empaths. This is something that's come up recently in regards to empaths and those that are, spiritual or whatever you want to call yourself. You even if you're religious, even if you're Christian, you know what I'm saying? However this applies and resonates. Being discerning in your day-to-day, okay? Listening in your everyday. Listening when it comes to dealing with other people, okay? Guarding your energy, okay? Being mindful. That's something that I'm learning right now. I'm learning that in many different areas of my life. But I feel like Spirit is calling us back to that in regards to our gifts and when it comes to other people, because a lot of times we can lose boundaries, lose ourselves, lose our groundedness, and just lose our focus because we are, we just have all of these things going on. And specifically for empaths, like, oh man, I'm sorry, I've been like talking and I have not taken a breather, so excuse me. But especially for empaths, the message that I've been receiving for us is that knowing when to share our energy and knowing when not to share our energy is very important, especially because we are preparing for an exodus and preparing for a huge transition. It's like not only do we have to be mindful about this new transition, but we have to be mindful in our day to day, because a lot of times those small things and those people that you don't think make a big deal or affect you, they can affect you as well. Like they can have an effect on your energy and on your ultimate goal and purpose when you allow them to. So it's like guard your heart. There's a quote in the Bible about that too. Guard your heart and mind above everything else when it comes to dealing with people, for you empaths. That doesn't mean be in fear based mode though. And that's something that I'm working through. It doesn't mean to be always fearful, but it means to be mindful. That's what that means, to be mindful. Not fearful, but mindful. Guarding your heart, to me, now it means being more mindful. It doesn't mean being on guard. Like, and being, because a lot of times when we're too guarded, or when I used to think about being guarded, I used to think about like literally having walls up. You don't want to keep walls up because you want to be able to be open to receiving the blessings and allowing things to flow. You don't want to block your blessings by being too fearful or too guarded, but you want to be mindful and discerning. And I feel like that's what we're going through as empaths, as we're becoming more sensitive. And so an analogy that came up in regards to how spirit wants empaths to deal with people, places, and things that don't serve them, and people, places, and things that do serve them, is think of being an empath as going into a hospital. Think of being an empath as going into a hospital, okay? When you go into the hospital, the first thing you have to do is check in at the front desk, okay? You checking in at the front desk is you checking in with spirit, okay? Checking in with spirit, checking in with the universe. Or it can interchangeably be you checking in with yourself, whichever one you check in with first. But that's you checking. Well, no, I think that's you. You get what I'm saying. You gotta check in to the desk when you get to the hospital room first. So you check in. This is my name. Okay. I feel like that's you checking in with yourself. So walking into the hospital, checking in at the front desk, that's you checking in with yourself, identifying yourself. Hi, my name is this. Okay. This is okay. I'm here. I'm present. Yeah, that's you checking in with yourself. So then you check in, and then you got to sit in the waiting room. Okay. So you sitting in the waiting room, that is, you being observant and listening to spirit. Okay. Listening to spirit, being observant, listening to spirit, kind of seeing things, or trying to see things and witness things without judgment, how spirit sees them in that waiting room. Okay. Being patient. Okay. Now, sometimes while you're in a waiting room, you're going to have little kids in the waiting room making a bunch of noise. You're going to have somebody talking on the phone. You're going to have somebody sitting next to you that you don't feel comfortable sitting next to. You got a TV playing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like being an empath. You got all this stuff going on in the waiting room. Sometimes there's nothing going on. But that's what I'm getting as far as that part of it. Then you get to the back of the house, like to the room. Okay? And as an empath, and as, this person visiting the hospital, you can be playing any role. You can be playing the role of the person that's checking into the hospital because you need to seek treatment. Like you can be an empath needing to seek treatment, or anybody really needing to seek treatment at this hospital. You know what I'm saying? For any reason. It could be for a mild reason, but you could be the patient, or you can be the doctor. Okay, you could be the doctor. Or you could be somebody visiting somebody. So you could play any role when you go back into that room. But before you go back to the room, again, you got to check in with yourself, check in with spirit. And then when you get back into the room, that's you checking in on others, okay? That's you checking in on others, or checking in on basically like the course of action that you need to take. As far as, like I was saying, you're either the patient, the doctor, or you're the person visiting the person. So this is when you get back to that room, this is you discerning like, okay, what am I going to do for this patient? What am I going to do as this doctor for this patient? What am I going to do when I go see my loved one? Like, how am I going to treat them? How am I going to love them? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting for the energy as far as utilizing your gifts as an empath. It's like, that's how you have to carry your path. You need to check in with yourself when you don't feel comfortable around a situation. Something don't feel right. Check in with yourself and see how your body's responding, or see how you feel. Then wait and be patient and be observant and see how you feel then. And then when you get back in the room, see how you're going to treat the situation. Are you going to get really involved? Okay. Are you not going to get really involved? Do you need healing, or does that person need healing? Are you going to be present and love yourself, or are you going to love them, or both? Or, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how you discern being an empath. And I feel like that's what Spirit is calling us to do right now in regards to our energy. And even more on the positive side when it comes to, you know, like people, places, and things. Like, think of when you're trying to discern, you know, what's good versus what's bad, and what's comfortable for you and what's not comfortable for you, what's working for you and what's not working for you. Think along the lines of like, what was a good example of something that you experienced? Okay, what's a good example? And then, is this a good example? Is this, you know what I'm saying? And so I hope this resonates with you guys. 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 Another message that I've got also is movement. Okay. So we were just talking about spirit in regards to transitioning and this big exodus, you know, that we're going through. And then talking about the hospital. Okay. Another part of discerning I'm getting is knowing when to move and knowing when not to move, but also knowing what pace to move at and what pace not to move at, and then knowing when to move and when to be still. Because like, when you are going through this huge exodus, okay, and like when Lot went through this whole exodus, and with Moses when he went through what he was going through, like, there were moments when they had to be fast, they had to move, you know what I'm saying? But then there were moments when they had to be still so that they could listen to what God was saying. You know what I'm saying? Because movement does not always necessarily mean fast. Movement can just be listening, okay? And preparing. And then thinking more along the lines of the hospital reference, it's like, when any circumstances, it's like you have to be cautious and you have to apply those same rules when you're in a hospital setting, because it's like, you move too fast, you can mess something up. You move too slow, you can mess something up. But if you move fast enough, sometimes that could be just what you need. And then if you move slow enough, you know, that could be what you need. So it's like, discerning is important in that way too. I hope that resonates and I hope that makes sense, because that's what I've gotten as well. So I hope this makes sense. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this resonates. Please leave a comment below. Leave a comment below. Okay. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can go ahead and follow me on my Instagram at _ it's getting dark outside. You can follow me on my Instagram at _therootlady.com. That is at _therootlady.com. Okay. You can go ahead and check out my blog. I think all of that information is in the description below. So all that information is in the description below. My blog, my Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook, The Root Lady. You can just look up The Root Lady. And then if you would like to book a reading, I have my Fiverr link posted in the description box as well. that is where you can go and book the reading at Fiverr. I think it's Fiverr/India Marie 887. But I believe it's in the description box below. So check that out if you would like to book a reading with me. And so, y'all, that is it. I hope this resonated with you guys. Peace, light, and love. Ashe, namaste. The light that is in me is in you. And happy full moon. Happy full moon. I'll probably get back on here and do another video. So, but yeah.